Hey everybody, welcome back. Our topic for today is how to tell if you've outgrown your e-commerce platform. What we're going to touch on essentially is, this is for existing owners of e-commerce websites, and you've got a successful business, it's up and running, and now you're starting to experience some growing pains and you find yourself asking, is now time to switch platforms? Is now time to upgrade? Have I outgrown my e-commerce platform? And I think in that question, the question sort of answers itself in that if you're asking that question, it's because you're experiencing those growing pains, and those pain points are what's prompting that question. So a big part of this is just to say, you're not crazy. Like, if you're experiencing these, you're asking this question, there's a reason why you're asking this question, and we're going to go down some of the specific pain points that we run into when people talk to us. If you kind of see yourself reflected in those, perhaps that will give you essentially some reassurance that you're not alone and you're not crazy. It's time to make a switch. So the first thing that we see is customization becomes a big deal. As your business grows, the need for your e-commerce platform to accurately reflect your business just becomes paramount. When people are starting out and you're picking a platform, you're often picking something that is that's affordable and it's easy to set up and get online, because in some cases you're just testing this to see if it works. And if there are some minor inaccuracies in terms of how your products are up there, it's not that big a deal while your volumes are low. But then as your business grows, as the volumes increase, any inaccuracy in how your shipping is quoted and how your product options are arranged, in how maybe your services are quoted if you have an e-commerce site that's selling services, all of those things start to become bigger pain points really quick. And the thing about solutions that are easy to set up and relatively cheap to get going is that they're not always the most customizable. So this is one of the big ones that jumps out at us. If you need to set up custom quoting for your services, have a custom fulfillment process that accurately reflects what happens after you receive an order and how you go through the process of fulfilling it. If there's anything that throws off your pricing, even if that's acceptable at low volume, as these things get high volume, it starts to create issues for you. It also can even be as simple as an organizational thing. If the way your products and product options are organized, product options and variations can become very complicated. If there's any confusion about how that's structured, it can create issues on the front end for your customers, and you're going to start to get a higher and higher volume then of customer complaints saying, hey, I can't find this thing, or hey, the options aren't available the way I was looking for them. The other thing that we see is that people's volume of business doesn't just grow, but the number of products that they want to offer grows. So we'll see people wanting to expand their product catalog. Maybe you want to add another vendor, or you want to allow other people who work with you, as who are part of your network of businesses, to sell also through your site, to create essentially a vendor marketplace. These are all things that can cause people to have those growing pains and to realize they're outgrowing their site. So depending on the tools that your existing platform has, it can be very difficult just to add product, especially if the product isn't organized the same way as the products you already have on your site. There's almost a whole project just in getting the product catalog in order so that you can get it on the site, and the tools you have for doing that may not be great, and you may need professional help if you've got to set up a complicated import of product. Particularly when other vendors are involved, some people get online quickly and easily with e-commerce because the vendor themselves provides the e-commerce marketplace that they're using. So you're on a platform and you sell one vendor's products on that platform. If you go back to that vendor and say, hey, we also want to sell your competitors' products on this platform, they're not going to help you with that, right? The idea is that the platform exists to sell their stuff. So when you start expanding beyond a single vendor and adding other vendors into that platform, that can be an issue. And different vendors, again, have their products structured differently, and you need somebody to basically bring order to all of the different ways in which different vendors structure their products, their product options, so you can offer them all in one place. When it comes to having a vendor marketplace, if you want to have other people selling through your site, you need to be on an e-commerce platform that is going to allow people to log in, manage their own products, fulfill their own orders. A lot of e-commerce platforms are set up for really for one admin or one shop manager to run the whole store. They're not meant to be delegated into a number of sub-tiers of managers, especially not completely disparate marketplaces. A big part of that also is because of fulfillment, shipping, and particularly drop shipping. When you've got other people managing products in your store, they may be fulfilling them differently. If you've got a vendor marketplace, it may be that different vendors all around the country are selling on your site. You could just be a larger business and you have different warehouses fulfilling orders around the country. We call this multiple origin shipping, and what that is shipping prices are all based on how far you have to ship your goods. And if you, like us, are based in Michigan, but you have customers on the West Coast, and you could have a fulfillment warehouse on the West Coast and be shipping from that warehouse instead of somewhere in the Midwest, you're going to want to do that because it's going to save your customers money and keep you competitive. So that comes up both for your own needs as well as for the needs of vendors who might sell through your site. The other big thing as you're adding other vendors and expanding your product catalog is drop shipping. A lot of people also find that e-commerce is not just magically, minting money online. It's a lot of work. Even once you've got a successful store, you've got to stay on top of customer requests. You've got to be fulfilling and shipping orders. You've got a lot of work to do, essentially. And one of the easiest ways to offload that work is drop shipping. A vendor adds their products to your site, and you send the orders directly to them, and the vendor fulfills it, which is great when that works. But setting up drop shipping can be a lot of work, and it's not something that comes bundled into out-of-the-box e-commerce packages. Finally, just as one other scenario that we can see is sometimes people just have a more complex interaction that they want to have online with their customer. Maybe you want to give your customer a user account. Maybe you have like a freemium level of your product that you want to let them take advantage of. Maybe you charge for product options. Maybe it's a subscription-based thing. It could be a subscription-based website where the website itself is the product. You could be selling a subscription-based product. For example, sending people a monthly box of clothing or fashion accessories or food every month on a recurring product basis. It could be a recurring services-based thing where your people are purchasing a service that you provide regularly, but there's all kinds of reasons why you might want to have accounts, product options, recurring payments, different payment methods that you make available to people, and these are all the areas where we see people begin to bump up against the limits of their existing platforms, and that's when they start to feel the question, and we step in and have that conversation. So hope you found this useful. Maybe you see yourself in here, and if you do, take heart. You're not alone. Other people experience these things, and the reason you've got that question is, it's time to have that conversation. So hope you found this useful. Thanks again for watching today. Have a good one.